Would you ever sign a prenup?
Yeah.
What if he was a multimillionaire?
In that case, no.
If you meet a man and he wants you to sign a prenup, don't walk away from him. Run. And I want you to run like you're running a marathon, and here's why.
Is this a prenup?
I don't want you to freak out. I'll be right back.
A woman that feels entitled to your money isn't a woman you want to marry. She's got other plans.
Here's why I think prenup should be mandatory.
Is asking to sign a prenup considered insulting, and if so, why?
Yeah, because you got a preconception that the relationship's not going to be working.
My boyfriend asked for a prenup and I feel offended and sad. What would you do?
Feelings are irrelevant. Marriage is a man's biggest decision. Protect yourself at all times.
Kindly subscribe to the channel, as it is our sole form of support. Thank you.
Someone is a millionaire and successful for years before they met their partner, and their partner is like a minimum wage worker. I do think it's valid, man or woman with the money, to request a prenup to protect their legacy.
I am just a woman. I just want you to text me and say, hey, I miss you. I've been thinking about you and I want to see you. Let me come see you. You bring light into my soul. Is that too much to ask? A little bit of romance? I've been romanticizing my life forever. I'm tired.
If you meet a man and he wants you to sign a prenup, don't walk away from him. Run. And I want you to run like you're running a marathon, and here's why. A man who wants you to sign a prenup just says that he's preparing for the worst. Preparing for in case it doesn't work out, I want you to have nothing. It also says, I don't trust you. I don't believe that you really want me and love me for me. It says, I believe you only want me from what you can financially gain. Another reason why you don't want to sign one of these things is simply because if he wants you to sign one, he's more than likely not going to give it his all. He's more than likely going to be ready to walk out of that door every time something hits the fan.
So if a man asks his woman to sign a prenup and she refuses, bro, he better lace up those running shoes and start sprinting.
Exactly, Samuel. I don't know where she got the idea that asking for a prenup means he's preparing for the worst. What? Does she think he's Nostradamus or something?
Right. It's not about predicting doom, it's about protecting yourself, plain and simple. The guy isn't doubting the relationship, he's just not trying to get wiped out if things go sideways. And with the way modern relationships are, you'd be a fool not to protect your assets.
Oh yeah, once they lock him down, the motives start looking real shady. Suddenly it's not about love, it's about what he can provide.
And let's be real, the legal system, still heavily stacked in favor of women. That's why if a relationship goes south, it's the man who could end up losing half of everything he's worked for, or more.
That's why women regret divorce more than men. Financially speaking, women's lives get worse after the divorce, while men's get better. The standard of living for women goes down an average of 27%, while the standard of living for men goes up 10%. So you can see why women may feel that their lives get worse after divorce, because their standards of living go down while their ex-husband's standard of living goes up.
Is this a prenup?
I don't want you to freak out. I'll be right back. I'm going to call my mom. Just read it over, okay? Just have an open mind.
You okay? We're getting married this week. I'm in shock right now. Like, this cannot be normal, right?
It's a tough situation.
It's the week of our wedding.
Call your mom.
Call my mom. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Hey, just sign it. We're talking about so much money.
Eric, I understand that, but this is the week of our wedding.
Look, you're either going to sign it or you're not going to sign it. Like, this is ridiculous that you're not even thinking about me. No, this is absolutely ridiculous. Hey, the wedding's off.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Didn't know him to act like that.
He's never done anything like this. I'm going to go get a tissue from the bathroom, okay? I'll be right back.
If you paid attention, she didn't even bother reading the prenup. I mean, was it written in hieroglyphics or something?
Nah, man. Maybe she was just too emotional to flip through the pages. After all, he dropped it on her a week before the wedding, a little surprise, you know?
A surprise, huh? Like, hey babe, sign this real quick before we tie the knot, and I end up broke honestly. He made the right call. There's zero reason for her to be crying because he asked her to sign a prenup. It's not like he proposed with it.
I don't think you should get a prenup if you're getting married, because what are you preparing for? Why are you preparing for it not to work? So a prenup is basically documents saying, if we don't work out, you can't take my money, I can't take yours. But why is there a if we break up, before you even get married? You know what I mean? Why are you thinking if we? Do you not think it will work? Like, what is it? Because it's not screaming 100% trust. It's screaming, I have a backup plan just in case. But just in case what? Just in case what? Should a prenup be a thing if you trust your person and you know for sure this is who I want to marry?
The only thing this screams is that this woman is completely naive when it comes to understanding what a prenup is really about.
Oh yeah, because apparently asking for a prenup means you're plotting for the marriage to fail. Like, come on. That's as far from the truth as it gets.
Right? A prenup isn't some breakup insurance policy. It's about being responsible, making sure both parties are protected if and when things go sideways. It's like wearing a seatbelt. You don't plan to crash, but you'd be dumb not to wear one.
Exactly. She claims it's preparing for the marriage not to work. No, sweetheart, it's preparing for life to happen. 20 years down the road, who knows what's going to change? Feelings, circumstances. You've got to protect yourself. Just because you're in love now doesn't mean it'll be sunshine and rainbows forever.
I love how men are like, I'd make you sign a prenup, and I'm like, what makes you think I'd even say yes?
Or sign a prenup.
Yeah.
You would?
I absolutely would. I don't think I could do it without. I want to be able to decide where my assets go if we divorce.
What if he was a multimillionaire?
In that case, no. What? If it's to my advantage, then yes, absolutely a prenup.
So if he was richer than you, then you wouldn't sign it.
Yeah, I guess. I guess I'm a hypocrite.
Man, the double standard is unreal. But hey, at least she's honest, right?
Yeah, honest like a robber who tells you when and where they're going to hit next. This modern woman is the perfect example of why any man with half a brain must get a prenup before even thinking about marriage.
Or better yet, maybe avoid getting married altogether. Did you catch her mindset? She's not in it for love, partnership, or building something together. Nah, her whole vibe is screaming business transaction.
Exactly, she's plotting her big payday. These are the type of women who see marriage like the stock market. Get in, grab what you can, then cash out on a man's hard-earned work. It's like a con job wrapped in a wedding dress.
But you gotta respect the warning. She's basically saying, if you want to protect your assets, don't marry me, like straight up. She's not even trying to hide her game.
So you're pro prenup?
Totally pro. Even if you're broke, I believe you should have one because you might have money later. Thank you.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, you know, we're all growing.
I felt the same way. So when I got married, I was like 25, 26, right? Mm-hmm. And at the time, I didn't have any assets. I had like $167 to my name. You know, my most valuable possession was like my CD collection. You know, I didn't have anything. And at the time, I didn't think about my future self.
Let me tell you what my husband says. He says that if a man asks you to sign a prenup, run. Because he's not a provider. Like, he's already keeping something from you, and he's already in that mindset of like trying to protect himself.
It's probably easy for a man to say this if he's never been burned before in divorce. He's got his guard down. He doesn't realize potential loss he's staring at when he chooses to marry. And it's not about keeping things from you. It's about helping things along in the event of a divorce. I mean, you're already losing your partner. Emotional damage, there's just so much going on. Prenup can make things easier. It's not always about making sure that the other person doesn't get anything. It can be more about keeping things organized. And if the way divorces continue to go, most men will require a prenup. Otherwise, it makes no sense for them to get married. A man is not entitled to give you everything he's worked his ass off for his entire life. Especially because you could end up not being a good wife to him, cheat on him. You shouldn't lose everything after something like that.
Let's see what's in the comments section. If she runs because he asked for a prenup, he dodged a bullet.
If love is conditional from what I provide, then what I provide is conditional.
No, he's a provider and he wants to keep providing for himself. If things don't work, why should he have to give up what he worked for?
Divorce courts paint women as the victim and destroy men and their lives better to have a prenuptial than lose your entire life.
I saw this woman say that she would not sign a prenup and she would not take a DNA test. And she felt like it was wrong of a man to ask that. And, you know, my question is, aren't you a bit out of order telling your husband what he can and can't ask of you? But we don't want to have that conversation, do we? Seriously, because I thought, you know, if you submit to your husband in all things, like, you know, you say you do, why are you not submitting to his request for a prenup? It's much easier for men to go along with a woman's delusion than fight. And I think many times as women, I mean, we go through life never having someone say that we're just chatting a bunch of shit. Have you ever met a chick that truly believed she was something she wasn't? I mean, and that's what I see with these tradcon women. An example was on Twitter the other.
Well, here's the thing, man. A guy can ask for a prenup all day long, and she's got every right to say no. But the second that happens, that's the moment he should pack his bags and run.
Exactly. A woman who refuses to sign a prenup, especially when he's been upfront about it, that's a major red flag. She's probably got a hidden agenda, looking for that financial safety net.
Right. A prenup messes with her plan. It's like putting a lock on the vault before she can even try to crack it open. If she's pushing back on it, it's not about love, it's about how much she can walk away with when things fall apart.
Yeah, because let's be real. A woman who truly loves and respects you for who you are wouldn't blink twice at signing a prenup. If she's not there for your money, what's the issue?
Here's why I think prenup should be mandatory. A lot of people falsely think that doing a prenuptial agreement is a plan for a divorce, but it's totally contrary to that. A prenuptial agreement allows you and your partner to set the rules for a divorce if it should happen while you both are in love and on good terms. I know the conversation about a prenuptial agreement may be difficult to have, but it will save you and your partner in the future, and it may even save your marriage. A prenuptial agreement will help you and your partner later down the road, and it'll save you money if you do end up in divorce. I've worked on thousands of cases, and they could have ended much easier if the parties had a prenuptial agreement going into it.
Prenup? Well, no, we have nothing of value to lose. And this is our second marriage each, so
Don't sign nothing.
My boyfriend asked for a prenup and I feel offended and sad. What would you do? What I did, my love, was sign a prenup. I knew my husband would want one and I didn't even make him ask. Right after we got engaged, I said, I bet you want a prenup. And he said, yeah, I do. And I said, no problem. I have nothing against him wanting to ensure what he has created for himself. And that's what a prenup is. It's just insurance. You having insurance on your car doesn't mean you're going to smash it into a pole. You having insurance on your house doesn't mean you're going to burn it down. And a couple having insurance on their assets doesn't mean they're headed for divorce. In today's world, it's okay to protect what you've created. It's okay to have insurance.
You hear that, Mark? This is what a real woman sounds like when she's not eyeing your wallet.
Yeah, no drama, no crocodile tears, no tantrums. She's cool as a cucumber because she's focused on him, not his bank account.
Exactly. She knew he wanted that prenup, got it done, no questions asked. Like, oh, you want to protect your hard-earned assets? Cool, I'm here for the relationship, not your paycheck, imagine that.
Right? The ones who freak out over a prenup? They've got dollar signs in their eyes, man. You mention it and suddenly it's all you don't trust me, or why would you think we're going to split? It's not about love anymore, it's about what they can grab in a potential breakup.
But if her intentions are pure, it's no big deal. A prenup doesn't faze her because guess what? She's not planning her exit strategy. She's here to build a future, not to plan her payout.
If you still think that getting a prenup has anything to do with a lack of trust in your partner, maybe you're mistaken, but that's okay because I didn't know this until I went to law school. So now I'm just going to share what I learned with you. And I'm really surprised this is not widespread knowledge because it should be. Getting a prenup actually has everything to do with a lack of trust in your government. And here's why. We can actually compare a prenup to a will in the sense that you either draft your own will or the government will use the one that they already drafted. You feel me? In the same sense, it's not about whether you want a prenup or you don't want a prenup. It's a matter of which prenup do you want? The one that you drafted, that you agree with, that you think is fair, or in the instance of death or divorce, the one that the government already drafted. It's up to you. Now, if you think that your government will do an efficacious job at dividing your assets and making sure that your loved ones are provided for in the instance of death or divorce, then by all means, fuck a prenup. However, if you do experience some distrust in the way that the government does things and has done things through the course of your life, you should probably get a prenup.
If you meet a man and he wants you to sign a prenup, don't walk away from him. Run. And I want you to run like you're running a marathon. Y'all remember when I posted that video? Don't remember? Go back and watch it. And yes, I turned the comments off because the way y'all were trying to cook me in those comments was insane. And that's mainly because a lot of y'all don't have the intelligence to have a simple conversation without insulting someone. And that's okay, that's fine, I get it. However, since then I talked to my fave and he kind of gave me his perspective on why it makes sense to sign a prenup. And now that I have that understanding, I probably would consider signing it. However, I still think it's a sign of distrust. I said what I said, I'm not backing down, and it is what it is.
Well, damn, I thought she finally had her epiphany, Mark. Turns out she was just hitting you with straight facts.
Right? And with zero hesitation too. Gotta hand it to her though, she made a solid point. Prenups aren't about planning for divorce, despite what these women love to claim.
Exactly. It's like they hear the word prenup and suddenly, they're ready to write you off, as if you've got one foot out the door. Nah, girl, this ain't about that. If they think a prenup is unnecessary, they might as well toss their car insurance too.
Oh yeah, just revoke that car insurance, right? Cause hey, if you don't expect a crash, why bother having it at all, huh? Brilliant logic.
Exactly. It's not about expecting an accident, it's about being prepared for the unexpected. Life's unpredictable. You wouldn't get behind the wheel without insurance, so why would you walk into a marriage without a safety net?